All right, we are back in battle on the Cold Harbor map. Really, the fighting is around Mechanicsville. We are on the defensive. We get to hold the 5-pointer here. So we got 10 points between Mechanicsville and, I forget the name of this, Mechanicsville Bridge. The CSA in the last one took Lee's Bridge, so they are on the clock. It's only a 3-pointer. We have more troops. They're waiting for reinforcements. Wait, do we really have that many? We really have that many more troops? You know what? We may get aggressive here. I didn't realize we were up by that much. I thought maybe it was 2-1, not 4 or 5-1. And so knowing that, yeah, I think we're going to move over on the attack end. How we want to do this? Do this by... Okay, we'll see if that order holds. I would doubt it. But I think since it's a relatively narrow front they're holding, I think we kind of just gotta go in. And we can go in one corps at a time. I know it sounds like the worst way to do it, and maybe it is. But that's still the plan we have. So we're going to send the cav over here. And that gives us 3 cav brigades eventually. We'll get them over here, and we'll have them work down the left. We're going to bring all the artillery up now. And while that's going on, so Hooker still has everybody on assault, which is kind of the right idea. I'm not sure why that idea hasn't filtered down to others. But Hayes' troops are the closest. So I kind of want to see what happens if I don't give them a stance. But just order them forward. Alright, so we'll do that. There are really 3 infantry divisions. So that was Peck, I believe. Broadhead is also fairly large as divisions go, so we'll order him forward like that, and then we will order Welsh, the reserve division, up to that creek. So that's that. I think Mansfield is further to the left, so I'm going to try to get his corps up here behind the cavalry. And then we're going to have King, who I think is more over here. We're going to have... try to have them, I guess, back here. It's a bit wider than I want, but oh well. Maybe this is just a visual glitch where they kind of look like they're in this weird column thing. Generally, I like the divisional orders, so if we had the division command, then clicking on a stance, but I just want to see how this goes. So they're doing pretty well. I want to now move them up like that, and we'll give them, we'll just give them the advance order, and we'll see how they do with that. Again, I would have liked it if they were all at medium range. Doesn't look like they actually are. Well, they are. And they are. So you know what? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I will take 2 out of 3. Pleasanton, I think you barely lost any skirmishers, but your skirmishers were out of ammo. Okay, McCook's detachment is healthy. So. Alright, I'm gonna help the AI out here, because that's not how you want to be fighting if you're the AI. Like, Taylor and Taylor's brigade are pretty good, right? 3 stars each. It's not shabby. Did they reject my loose order? No, they didn't. Alright. They just don't look like they're in loose order. Alright, Whitting's gonna move up to meet the challenge. I think with McCook's skirmishers, they're doing us less of a favor because they're keeping the entire brigade from shooting. And so, as much as they could cover the advance, they covered it, and let's get the brigade shooting now. Alright, so the Cav, for the most part, is doing right. Let's have... Okay. Cav come up like that. Artillery's hopefully doing what they can. No, do these guys have shots? No. Alright, let's add them in here. Alright, but we got 3 batteries barking. That's pretty good. I thought... Wait, was Peck the advanced brigade or Welsh? I thought it was Welsh, but I can't remember. It was a whole 4 minutes ago, I think. We got some of our cav up here, so gotta get them down. Oh, and they found out some stuff. Alright, we're gonna order Burns to go on the attack. I really want it to be more of a screen, but it's fine. Huh. I don't remember ordering them up there. Did I? Maybe we'll make sure they're far enough down they don't block that battery. we're gonna try and not charge because it's a little too good in this game. Alright, Morris's brigade is doing work up there. Just wonder what those brigades are set to. Alright, medium. Yeah, I care more about ranges than the default kind of assault attack thing, because I think even when you put them on assault, sometimes they'll have the assault order, but they'll shoot at long range, which is always a recipe for kind of dealing the minimal amount of casualties. And in a lot of ways is ahistorical, both on the attack and on the defense. You're not going to be looking. If you really want to break a position, you don't do it by shooting at it from 300 or even 200 yards away. McCook. Well, there are lots of others to replace him. McCooks, that is. But that's too bad. How are we doing down there? We're getting some work done. This brigade is in a, well, that's Davidson. Going down. I really meant for this cavalry to be the screen, but somehow they became supporting fire here. You know what? That's a mistake. That's not where the cav should be. It should be over here. Same thing with these guys. It feels like we're wasting a lot doing that. And Sully will move over. I guess we'll try to cut off their retreat back here, since the infantry moved with a great deal of celerity there. Alright, we'll move Hooker up. He still has the assault idea, and you know what? That looks like the right idea at this point. Alright, Broadhead has moved. Broadhead's over here? Oh, yeah. Well, he was. I guess he was kind of supposed to be over here. But they are the first wave. That's Hayes' corps. And so we'll just. Now, hold on. Why can't we give them a stance? Okay, Cav's got to mount up and move out. We'll try to figure out what's going on with Broadhead, or maybe it's a larger problem with Hayes. I don't know. Huh. Well, you know what? Let's see what we get. And this is... Well, King should be more or less there. Hooker should be moved... yeah, he has moved up. Alright. So Mansfield's the corps commander, should be a little bit closer to everybody else. And somehow I managed to get Taylor's division way too far over there. Okay, MacArthur's division can just move up here. Higgins can move up here. DeRussi can move up there as well. And Smith will send up like that. All right. Welsh's division casualties are relatively light compared to the size of the division. I know that these divisions are a lot larger than they would have been at this point in the actual Civil War, but part of it's just a desire to not have to micromanage more than I'm already micromanaging. Not that I'm opposed to it. I enjoy my micromanaging, but it's a lot. You need a lot more officers, and the OOBs get really messy. And then I have to change other things in the files so that the AI... Oh! I don't know why, but I thought this battle was going to last longer. It's because, honestly, a few hours ago, it was 50-50. And on the attack there, we dealt far more casualties. So... Alright, and they're figuring it out for the most part. But they appear to be in full retreat. We'll just run it at 20x. We're not going to try to run the score up on the AI. Under the circumstances, I think did okay. I mean, outnumbered 5-1. They had a lot more lead eventually coming their way than they were going to be able to throw back. So, alright, those are the estimates. We'll see where it goes from here. And what say you? Enemy... Wow, 4,500 captured. That's 5,000 out of the... That's more out of the war than I usually get in battles with many more men engaged on both sides. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it may be a factor of national morale and support and other things. So I actually wonder if the war is going to end in this episode. I'm pretty sure 39 is the break. I'm not going to drag it on. I'm not intending to drag it on to 25 or 20, whatever it is, the default vanilla. Because I require both sides to lose a lot of support along with their morale so that there isn't that big kind of difference between national morale and national support, which always seemed to me a bit strange. I mean, those two things really matter. And I wonder if it wouldn't have made more sense to just combine them into one factor rather than having them play off against each other. I like that. You know, I got to go back and check because there's a convergence factor with national wealth, and I don't remember if it converges towards national support or national morale. But again, that's kind of like the semantic difference. It could plausibly go to either, but the idea makes sense, right? As people get poorer, it just saps their support for the war. All right, so that was over here. That was not a battle of our own initiating. That was the CSA's idea, probably as part of this gamble to retake Richmond, because I'm calculating, see, our support's not great either. But there's the average of those two, because they're set on my mod to converge towards one another, to converge at about 41. So support should come up and morale should go down. And ours is about 30 or 48, 49. So yeah, we're a couple points ahead. In terms of men fielded, we're not that far ahead. And in terms of overall casualties, you can see that this has gotten more absurd. But a lot of that is wounded. It's not killed. I'm certain from the battle reports, a lot of it's wounded. And since I've decided to not really make... Now, why did we go over here? Because the 3rd Corps was supposed to take a route that went over here and came into Nashville from the north. So I'm not sure why they deviated from that. This is not a good engagement at all. We don't need to be tied down taking these forts. I know we're slated to win, and there might be some national morale help there. It's happened. Let's just let it happen. I think in the last episode, or the one before, we were looking at... Oh, and that reminds me, we could probably turn the music up a bit here since we're in campaign, and the campaign music is quieter than the battle sound effects, so requires some attention. Yeah, see, that's the problem. McClellan has two things against him, right? It's the morale of his troops, which is coming back. It just needs time. And it's his readiness. Both of those things give me pause to push him forward now. Yeah, it's kind of... Well, Manson is doing better. on those accounts. But I think as long as we hold Tennessee and we hold pretty much the middle of Virginia, including its capital. All right, so that was that win out there, west of Nashville. I think the CSA has to come in and knock us out. If they don't, I think we're capturing enough CSA territory that their national support and morale will eventually cause them to lose the war. All right. So I guess now we're engaged at Fort Donelson. What do you have? You have, no, amphibious attack and mortar boats. So torpedoes, supply colliers is not terrible. But it's pretty bad in the brown water navy. This one, balloon barge. Intelligence gathering, that would be good. Fort bombardment efficiency, that would be good. Limelights. Combat efficiency in the dark, which I think is about a third of the time. Blockade efficiency, it's not really what we're doing. Sea Raiders is not what we're doing. Blockade busters is not what we're doing. So this one's actually good if I have ironclads and I'm gonna micro them. The fighting efficiency against forts, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. And then if I micro them, so as long as they're moving and shooting at a fort, that perk goes up. It's really, really good if you have a squadron that's dedicated to doing that. I still want to get their readiness back. And I find that in fleets, because the numbers tend to be small, that they'll get their readiness back fairly quickly. But we can be poised to strike either southeast from Nashville, and we've knocked Gladden's Corps back. I think it started several episodes ago, I think with a battle up here. So that was our military force that just got enacted. So we're getting even more military subsidies, which we could plow into recruitment offices or other things. Now we get a choice as to whether we want to do Feed Europe, which is quite good for trade, or go right to Breadbasket, which will be done in half the time. So I'm going to go to Breadbasket. When we get that, not only does it allow for a later smooth transition from Feed Europe 1 to Feed Europe 2, those are really good, I think, late game 1-2s to help the Union economy, but it's going to give us more on the subsidy front, the agricultural subsidy front. And yeah, you know, we're running a huge whatever, but we don't have to play post-war Treasury Secretary, so, you know, as long as we can pay for the debt now and work with our creditors, we'll be okay. But we will get more subsidies to plow into farm mechanization, and we get increased volunteers, so it's kind of like a soft recruitment offices, and it increases farm output, which isn't terrible. Alternatively, what we could have done there was gone back for northern routes. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, you can read it, right? Transport capacity would have increased. Production demand of crops would have increased. Again, really good. But we would have lost volunteers from Midwest states. So that's a significant drawback at this point in the war. But I think if we were really hard up for money, we could probably afford to do that. And we can still hold it in the back pocket. If we want to hurt ourselves a little bit on the financial front, on the manpower front to help us on hopefully the tariff portion of all of this, we can hold that in the back pocket for sure. So that's the thinking with that, and that's why we waited on that. Maybe Feed Europe would have been a better act to do first. It doesn't matter. It's not the one we've done. And yeah. So this has not gone exactly like the American Civil War, but it's not designed to do that. It's just meant to be a historically plausible alt history, grand strategy with tactical battles kind of a campaign. That's how I've modded the base game here. All right, so since Steele is on his own, I don't really care if he's late to reinforce. We're going to go ahead and plug him into scouting to get his readiness back a bit faster. Okay. They're doing their work. So I think even if we lose here, we can still send the Mississippi Squadron in, and it has the amphibious attack. So it could, if it beats Fort Donelson, it could also capture Fort Donelson with the fleet. You can't really do combined, we'll say, kind of joint forces here between the Army and the Navy. It's too bad because in the actual brown water naval engagements, you had these squadrons shooting at forces. You had them acting in conjunction with infantry against forts, but it's just not something, because all fort battles are auto-resolved in this game. You can't fight them manually, and there's really no good way to even simulate those two attacking the same thing. I get that there aren't naval battles. Again, another kind of too bad, so sad, and all that other stuff, but you can't even really get them to work in close conjunction. But you can use the squadron against enemy infantry forces that embark. And so if you put them at key crossings, one of the ones I like to use as the Union is to try to hold Memphis, because, well, you can see the railroad, right? And the movement from Little Rock to really anywhere in Tennessee. It could be up to Nashville. It could also be into southern Tennessee. It could be into Mississippi and Alabama later on. If you cut it there with a sizable force, because there's a firepower debuff when infantry embark, they tend to get, they tend to get wrecked by your actual squadrons. So, anyways, that's something to think about. Some people say that they've done it and they can't get it to work. Again, I don't know what to tell you. There is this weird kind of bug lottery in this game where I would assume, based on the number of ways I've modified this game, that I would have more than most. And at least from the folks who have bugs, they seem to have it worse than I do. So I don't have an answer for you. I can just say that it does work for me. Most of the time that I've looked to make sure it's working, it's working. All right, so we got a second fort over here. So I'm devouring my humble pie. And you know, this Army of Florida here is really making moves. We can probably send the Mississippi Squadron. I doubt they're still embarked, but let's see if they are. We'll send them over to try to deal with that. Let's let Gibbon get some readiness back. We can see he has a fairly large number of disabled. We should be able to get those down. CSA did complete that supply depot either early in this episode or late in the previous episode, and so that's one, if we knock them out, we might be able to steal that from them and use it to support a drive to Chattanooga. And because I know you're all keeping track, so I finished, or I'm like 8 pages away from finishing Hess's infantry tactics, and so I moved on to his book about Burnside and Longstreet in the Knoxville campaign. It's really interesting. 50 pages in. Yeah, there is more to that story, but I don't know, just being over here, we're not quite in the right spot over here, but, you know, the whole Knoxville thing was related to the Tullahoma campaign and Chattanooga and Grant's coming in. It's a whole lot of stuff. It's kind of interesting, so it's actually really interesting. But highly recommend Hess. This is the first one from Hess where it feels like we're actually doing a campaign rather than a topic in the Civil War, like field artillery or supply or logistics or infantry tactics. It's the kind of chronological narrative, and it's a good change of pace. I like the other stuff, but break it up a little bit. All right, enough about that. Back to this campaign. Are we actually getting close? We're not. We're getting further away. Their national morale has ticked up to 45. Who knew? Who knew? And their national, or the morale of their armies is actually higher than ours. Welcome back, Colonel Meade. Good. We got to be close here. Not really. Well, we need about 1 million more for that. Credit rating. Holy moly. I doubt we're going to get to it before the end of the game. Maybe. And man, on both sides, I think I could have taken some more civil order before we called it a campaign. Fort Wyman. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Hold up here. So, why does it say... So that is the one federal corps. I guess the troops aren't there yet? Alright, so they're expected in 12 hours. I think we're going to go fight this one. Yep. Let's see what we get when we get in there. We're at the 30-minute mark in this video. But I think that corps that's up there had about our corps had about 20,000 troops. So as long as that intelligence is reasonably accurate, I think we can go with it. I'm also kind of wondering what map we generate here in central Missouri. I want to go back and tweak the settings so that we get more of the generic maps to spawn. Although I've really been enjoying Cold Harbor, but I feel like at least on the southern half, I'm getting a lot of experience. So I kind of like that. I like this map. It's a little odd in that there is this giant mountain. So if you don't know the map, it's Big Rock Mountain. Like, it's just this giant mountain here. But it might actually come into play because sometimes I find the CSA forward deploys further than I think is advisable. But that is that. Let's see if the intelligence expects. So that's on strength. Are they getting anything else? No. Okay. And we have a 2-to-1 cav advantage, even on artillery. And we have more than 50% more, about 70% more than they do on infantry. So that's good. We have 46 engineering points that are absolutely useless to us. We only have one path in, it looks like. Right? This road, and then we got to decide, do we swing to the east and down through Willow Garden, or do we go north? Right. This is easy for me to answer. I'm going to swing southeast, then southwest. The reason is I don't want to get pinched. Though I forgot about that crossing. But there's no road that goes to it. I don't want to have to sacrifice the numerical advantage to attack them through this kind of open field here where they could, I don't know where they're going to deploy and how many engineering points they have, but they could deploy in those woods and make me pay a heavy price to come across. I don't know. So we'll figure something out, and when we get in contact, I'll bring it back. All right, so we found them, and the CSA is out in a battle line behind, what is that, the Saddle Woods? Yeah, the Saddle Woods. Saddle Hill is its own point. My idea, look, if we go here, there's high ground over here the CSA can move up on, and it's wooded. High ground over here the CSA could come up on, and there's artillery and other ground that the CSA can close in on 3 sides. So we have a numerical advantage. We're okay with that. But if they have good terrain, that could nullify some of that advantage. All we have roads for speed, but we got some fences, but I'm not sure it's enough. So the plan, and there's a lot about it I don't like, is to actually push through these woods, take the road. I'm going to put one division down here. The other, so Payne's division is going to end up here first. I think, yeah, we kind of just got to eat it and maybe hug. So let's see, you're up there. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll detach. Where are you at here? We'll detach the battery. And what is it? It's Stevens? Stevens division that's going up here. That's already fine. And then why don't we also detach Duncan? And the idea is we're going to put all 3 batteries over here. Okay, give me... They're okay, but yeah, we're going to have all 3 batteries over there along with 1 division. And then we're going to take, what was it, Plummer's division, which is sitting back here at this crossroads, and we're going to have him follow Payne in. So we'll push forward with the Cav Brigade screening. We're going to try to knock this division out by sending 3 of our own at it. All right, let's move a little bit faster here, since I think a lot of this is kind of known. So did we not detach Monroe? I guess not. I guess not. Yeah, it's really not what we wanted Pratt to do. Okay, Plummer's going to move up here. There is this nice stone wall back here. If the CSA comes to get us, probably just put the arty in that orchard. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, I really don't want Monroe there. I want Monroe. I don't want him to do that. I guess I want Monroe to stop, and we'll go from there. We got to move Steele up so that he can communicate better with these groups, and we can slow things down, kind of just creating extra work here for Platt's group. Can honestly recall their skirmishers, and up to this point we had tower on screen, but oh, you know what? I was going to try to avoid. Well, I was going to try to avoid accidentally closing out of the game, but I didn't do that either. No, I was going to try to avoid stances and instead just maybe give some general orders here on range. But I can still do that for the infantry. And I tend to micro the cav anyways. So yeah, that's that. Monroe, I guess, has stopped. So we'll put Monroe over here. Give him the fence. Hopefully the orchard doesn't obstruct his view. Yeah, this should be okay. Now Plummer's going to end up over here, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go. Again, guys, if we're going to go on the attack, we don't really need scouts out. We know where they are. Yeah, that's the idea. All right, maybe they're getting the word that we're moving over to attack. I don't know. And we'll see what the CSA comes up with. We were at minor victory for a while. Probably because they're holding some victory points, they were able to claw that back. It's kind of why you guys want to do that. Yeah, I was hoping to intercept them before they could concentrate with the others, but maybe we'll get some consolation if we're able to engage them. That's going to be rough on the 1st Division. Well, that's going to be rough too. We did not see them hiding way out in the open as they were. Man, it must be rough being those wounded guys. I laugh at my own jokes. All right, that's fine if they push up like that. Okay. Apparently these guys have decided to charge for reasons known only to them. Well, we may not do well after all. And as soon as I can give these guys a new order, I think I'm going to put them back on screen because I don't love what I'm seeing. But let's move Stevens up. Let's move Plumber up. Yeah, I don't get this at all, man. There you go. That should be a little bit better. All right. Well, I spoke too soon, but that is my way. All right, so they're definitely going to route. They may well route. We'll see. We're going to begin moving this artillery up. So this is volume like 174 on how to lose battles you should win. But give the AI credit. They sat at the crossroads on high ground above it. And we did not move in well enough. Alright, yeah, that's a good position from which to withdraw. Would have been better to do it a little earlier, but it's alright. Alright, we'll give out the medium range order to everyone who will listen. Wrong guy. So that was Plumber. Stevens. And I know Payne is making his way up here. Yeah, Steel, that's actually a good spot for you. Alright, so it looks like they got the medium range order. They got the medium range order. I'll give it to him anyways, just in case the word has not gotten around. Yikes. Alright. Keep rallying. Can we actually get Steel over here? Maybe he can rally as well. Alright, so Piat may well break here. What condition are these guys? Because these guys have absolutely no experience. They're actually doing okay for marching through the woods that long. Alright. I don't know why Monroe does not detach. Now that was almost certainly a mistake. I know putting them in that advance order, but it's been done, so. Oh, and now they are broken and probably not coming back. We want to move tower back. Not sure why they chose to run that way, but they did. Not sure why they decided to charge in, but they did. I guess on their initiative was not all the best decisions. I think it's funny we're gonna lose this. Huh. Alright, so they're running. Not surprised. Their cav is running, which I am a little surprised at. Okay, you guys can actually shoot if you'd like. Well, Stevenson's gonna die because they've taken on too much there. I think Stevens' division here is a little outmatched. Oh no! What have these guys done? What are you doing, man? You guys stopped. I guess we'll just roll them over to general attack orders now. It seems like it's probably about all we're gonna get. just order Payne to try to attack that. Let's see what we get. Plumber should just fall back because this whole division's kind of shattered there. I think they're in trouble. I think Fry is in trouble. Yeah. Again, it's this long-range shooting that's like... I don't know, is it actually doing much? A little bit. How are they doing? Well, in an hour they'll be okay. I don't know if they're going to have any forces to go back to, but in an hour they'll be better. Well, at this point, we'll just try to make it bloody and cut into national support for them, I guess. Oh, and they broke. Man, we were defeated in style here. Yeah, I think we're just gonna shoot it out here and do the casualties we can, and we'll lose Central Missouri, but it's only a concern, I guess, if Missouri flips to the CSA and then they get a fairly large state. It'll at least initially go up with really high support, and it will help their national morale tremendously. So we may have to rush back that corps that just took Fort Donelson and the other fort next to it. They might be the closest, and just put them in St. Louis. But otherwise, I think I would try to continue the drive southeast from Nashville. Alright, well, a heck of a way to end the video. Complete humiliation at the hands of the outnumbered CSA. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad, but that's why you fight the battles, man. And how bad is it? So, let's see. 200 killed for them and 100, so less than 500 off the board for them. And for us, it's over 1,000. So, yeah, certainly a 2-to-1. So we'll certainly send the squadron back to try to defend there, and given you have to, yeah, you're gonna have to go back to St. Louis there and hope for the best. But maybe to relieve pressure on St. Louis, we'll drive and see what we can do. And that's right, we do also have forces. What is this? No, really, where is this, I guess? Do we want to fight again? No. And the reason is that since we're just in battle, I think we're going to start with a whole bunch of units that are broken. And their morale would be terrible the entire battle, and they'd likely lose. I have no idea if any of that information there is correct. If it is, it's incredible that they're able to move in enemy territory without supply so well. They're probably in the red. Oh, I didn't even take time to burn that. So they already had an army of Florida over here. So if it actually is over there, yeah, we're in even more trouble. But we might be able to send this squadron up here to intercept them. I don't know. But we have corps back here that aren't doing too much. And that group is considerable. And so we can send them via rail and other things that way. Since this second corps looks pretty good, I think we're going to send the second corps over here into the fray pretty soon. These guys are panicked. It's probably got to be supply reasons. Yeah, I'd say so. All right, let's get you out of there and stop that. I don't think that'll burn too much of our readiness, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we can take you off as scout. All right, we are coming up on the 1 hour mark, so that's as good a place as any to wrap this video. A reminder that the AI does not need significant buffs. It just needs to be tuned, and it can give you a real challenge. And if you're as impatient as I am, you'll give the AI lots of opportunities to beat you. So, yeah. All right, I actually did enjoy this one in spite of recent events, and I hope you did too. I thought we were gonna win this. I still think that, but I think we got to win a couple more in the battlefield before that happens. All right, take care, folks.